Brad Morrison's star quarterback towers arrogantly over a petite woman at Murphy's bar, his championship ring gleaming under neon lights. They thought she was an easy target, just another conquest. But what they didn't know, she's Sergeant Maya Rodriguez, a decorated Green Beret with combat-honed precision. Stick around because Brad's undefeated streak is about to spectacularly implode. His perfect world built on privilege and arrogance is seconds away from viral collapse. Justice has a way of hitting back, and tonight Brad Morrison will learn exactly what happens when ego meets reality. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from and what time you found this video. Don't miss out on future content by subscribing now. Brad Morrison stands at Murphy's bar, his 6'3" frame, casting a shadow over the petite woman before him. The neon lights dance off his championship ring as he flexes his fingers, a habit born from countless victories on the field. His Letterman jacket feels like armor, a symbol of his untouchable status at State University. The familiar weight of his teammates' phones recording behind him only amplifies his confidence. "Come on, sweetheart," Brad Morrison drawls, his voice carrying over the pulsing bass music. "Don't act like you're not impressed." His reflection in the bar mirror shows exactly what he wants to see. The golden boy, the star quarterback who's never heard the word no. The woman, Maya Rodriguez, though Brad Morrison hasn't bothered to ask her name, stands perfectly still. There's something about her stance that tugs at the edge of his awareness, a subtle warning he's too arrogant to heed. Her eyes, sharp and calculating, track every movement in the room with military precision. "Let me buy you a drink." Brad Morrison persists, stepping closer, invading her space. The championship ring catches the light again as he reaches for her arm. The bass drops, and someone whoops in the background. Nobody turns down Brad Morrison. His teammates' laughter fuels him, their phones steady and recording. This will make a great story tomorrow. Another conquest for their undefeated leader. The hashtag #Morrison scores already dancing in their minds. But there's a shift in the air, subtle as a change in wind direction before a storm. Maya's feet adjust slightly, and for a fraction of a second, Brad Morrison feels an unfamiliar sensation. Doubt. It whispers through his consciousness like a ghost, but his pride drowns it out. "Hey, leave her alone!" A voice cuts through the noise. "That's Sergeant Rodriguez, decorated Green Beret." Brad Morrison's hand freezes mid-reach. The championship ring suddenly feels heavy, its gleam dimming under the neon lights. His heart pounds in sync with the bass music, but for the first time it's not from excitement. It's from something else, something he hasn't felt since his first game, uncertainty. Will Brad Morrison's reign of entitled arrogance survive this encounter with a highly trained combat veteran? Has his undefeated streak finally met its match? The quarterback absently touches his championship ring, his trademark gesture of reassurance. But tonight, the cold metal offers no comfort. In the background, phones are still recording their lenses, capturing every moment of what's about to become a viral sensation. Type karma if you've ever witnessed someone's inflated ego meet reality. Brad Morrison's mind races back to his first championship game, where Coach Evans had warned him about the dangers of overconfidence. "Remember, son," the coach had said, "the bigger they are?" But Brad Morrison hadn't listened, then drunk on victory and youth. Now facing Maya's unwavering gaze, those words echo with new meaning. Have you ever felt invincible only to realize you're standing on the edge of a fall? The bass music seems to slow each beat, marking time like a countdown. Brad Morrison's teammates shift behind him, their phones steady unknowingly, documenting the moment their leader's untouchable status begins to crumble. Bar justice is about to take on a whole new meaning, and Brad Morrison's world is about to change forever. Brad Morrison stares at his reflection in the hospital's bathroom mirror, the fluorescent lights harsh against his swollen face. His Letterman jacket, usually worn like armor, hangs limply from his broad shoulders. The ring, that precious championship ring, feels like lead on his finger as he recalls how perfectly everything had aligned before tonight's disaster at Murphy's bar. 23 years of being untouchable, Brad mutters, wincing as he touches the bruise blooming across his jaw. The memory of Maya Rodriguez's defiant eyes flashes through his mind, followed by the lightning-quick movements of her defender. His shoulder throbs with renewed intensity, a reminder of how spectacularly his world has unraveled. The phone in his pocket buzzes again, another notification. Brad Morrison's hands shake as he pulls it out, reading the mounting view count on the viral video. His face drains of color as he sees comments flooding in. Future NFL star gets schooled by veteran. The hashtag Torture Morrison meets Marine is trending each ping of his phone like a hammer driving nails into his career's coffin. His mind drifts to last summer's training camp, where Coach Stevens had pulled him aside. "Listen, Brad Morrison," he'd said, "you've got everything. The talent, the name, the future. Don't throw it away like Jenkins did." Jenkins, the star quarterback who'd lost his draft spot over a bar fight video. Brad had laughed, then certain he was different, better, untouchable. The hospital machines beep in steady rhythm as he makes his way back to the examination room, each step echoing with the weight of consequences. A nurse passes by her quick double-take, telling him she's seen the video, too. His phone buzzes again. Dad calling for the 5th time. Brad Morrison lets it ring, remembering how his father had always handled his minor indiscretions with generous donations and quiet words to the right people. Type fall if you've ever watched someone's perfect world crumble. But this isn't like those other times. The Green Beret's face appears on his phone screen again. Calm, controlled everything Brad Morrison isn't feeling right now. The video catches his practiced sneer, the entitled shove, the lightning-quick response that left him sprawled and humiliated. Comment after comment praises the veteran's restraint, condemns Brad Morrison's behavior, shares stories of similar encounters. His fingers trace the championship ring, remembering the day he'd received it. "You're destined for greatness, son," Coach had said. "Just keep your head straight." But there had been warnings he'd ignored. The freshman who'd quit the team after Brad Morrison's pranks, the girlfriend who'd called him toxic, the teammates who'd stopped hanging out after games. A text from his agent appears, "Damage control meeting 7 a.m., NFL scouts requesting character references." Brad Morrison's stomach churns as he realizes the video has reached the professional circles. His perfect trajectory, college star to NFL draft pick to legend, wavers like a mirage in desert heat. The championship ring slides off easily, now slick with nervous sweat. Brad Morrison stares at it, seeing for the first time the tarnish of arrogance beneath its shine. In the polished surface he catches his reflection, not the untouchable star athlete, but a scared young man facing real consequences for the first time. Have you ever had your certainties stripped away in a single moment? Comment below. The hospital room feels smaller as Brad Morrison faces the growing reality of his situation. The scouts who'd been praising his field awareness will now be watching this video, seeing his true character exposed in high definition. His phone continues its relentless buzz, teammates sending links, college forums exploding with discussions, sports blogs already writing their headlines. "Mr. Morrison." A doctor enters, clipboard in hand. "The x-rays show no serious damage, but I'm recommending you avoid contact sports for at least 2 weeks. The words hit like another blow. 2 weeks of practice missed, 2 weeks for this story to spread, 2 weeks for his carefully constructed world to completely unravel. As Brad Morrison signs the discharge papers, his hand trembles. The championship ring sits heavy in his pocket, no longer a symbol of glory, but a reminder of how quickly everything can change. The hospital corridors seem endless as he walks toward the exit, each step taking him further from the certainty of his former life and closer to an uncertain future shaped by 3 minutes of viral video. Share this story if you know someone who needs a wake-up call before it's too late. His phone buzzes one final time. A message from Maya. Hope you learned something tonight. Brad Morrison's throat tightens as he pushes through the hospital doors into the cold night air, the weight of consequences finally settling fully on his shoulders. The perfect life he'd taken for granted now feels as fragile as the championship ring in his pocket, and twice as heavy. Throbbing pain pierces Brad Morrison's temples as another ESPN notification lights up his phone. His fingers hover over the screen, trembling. The same video thumbnail mocks him, his sneering face captured moments before everything changed. 2 million views and climbing. His own voice, thick with arrogance, echoes in his memory. What's a little girl like you doing in a sports bar? The NFL Draft Projections webpage sits open on his laptop, his name plummeting from first round to undrafted concerns. Brad Morrison, star quarterback, future NFL legend, now trending as Targer toxic jock and Hogsward Green Beret girl's latest victim. His phone buzzes again. Coach Peterson. Emergency team meeting now! Brad Morrison paces his apartment past the dusty display case of trophies that suddenly feel hollow. The championship ring from last season sits untouched on his nightstand, its gleam now somehow accusatory. Each replay shows the same sequence, his aggressive posturing, Maya Rodriguez's calm stance, the way she effortlessly redirected his drunken lunge into that embarrassing sprawl. The bar's security footage captured every excruciating second in pristine HD. 12 years of combat experience. Brad Morrison mutters, reading Maya Rodriguez's service record for the 100th time. 3 tours, Bronze Star recipient. His stomach churns. While he was breaking passing records, she was breaking barriers in special forces. His phone pings again. Another former teammate unfollowing him. Through his window, Brad Morrison spots reporters camping outside his building. The championship ring catches his eye again. He reaches for it, but his hand stops mid-air. Does he even deserve to wear it anymore? The sound of helicopter blades cuts through his thoughts, news choppers circling like vultures. A text from his father lands like a punch. Your grandfather served with honor. He'd be ashamed. Brad Morrison's throat tightens. The old Marine Corps photo of his grandfather hangs on the wall, eyes seeming to judge his grandson's fall from grace. Another notification. The bar's owner released a statement supporting Maya Rodriguez. Brad Morrison's sponsorship deals are evaporating by the hour. The college's ethics board wants a meeting. His agent isn't returning calls. The viral hashtag Green Beret Girl has spawned dozens of memes, each one featuring his face twisted in entitled rage, contrasted with Maya's professional military photos. Have you ever watched your life implode in real time? Brad Morrison whispers to his reflection. Share this if you felt your world crumble in 24 hours. His phone buzzes again. Sports Illustrated wants to interview Maya Rodriguez about women in combat roles and toxic masculinity in sports. His name will be a footnote in her triumph. The championship ring glints one last time before Brad Morrison sweeps it into a drawer. The constant pinging of his phone sounds like a time bomb now. In his bathroom mirror, a stranger stares back, the facade of invincibility shattered by a woman he foolishly underestimated. Through his window, the sun sets on the empire he spent years building, now crumbling in mere hours because of one catastrophic mistake. Type karma if you've ever seen someone's arrogance lead to their downfall. The evening news replays Maya Rodriguez's military ceremony footage. Brad Morrison watches transfixed as younger Maya receives her Green Beret. His phone buzzes again, but he already knows. His world isn't just changing. It's already changed. And he has no one to blame but himself. Brad Morrison stands frozen at the VA hospital entrance, his championship ring burning a hole in his Letterman jacket pocket. The familiar weight that once brought such pride now feels like an anchor of shame. Through the glass doors, he watches Maya Rodriguez, leading a group of veterans through self-defense drills, her movements precise and powerful, so different from the woman he'd tried to intimidate at Murphy's bar. His hands tremble as he pushes through the doors, the sterile hospital smell mixing with sweat from the training gym. The metallic clang of training equipment rings out like judgment bells. Maya spots him immediately, her stance shifting subtly into a defensive position that makes Brad's stomach clench. He deserves that wariness. I've been an arrogant fool. Brad Morrison announces, his voice carrying across the gym. The veterans pause their drills, turning to face him. Phones emerge, recording, just like that night at Murphy's, but this time he welcomes the documentation of his humiliation. It feels right, like penance. His Letterman jacket, once armor, now feels like a childish costume. Brad Morrison slowly removes it, folding it carefully before setting it aside. The championship ring comes next, placed on top of the jacket. Symbols of the power he'd wielded so carelessly. I thought being a star quarterback made me untouchable. Brad Morrison continues, sweat beading on his forehead under the harsh gym lights. I used that status to intimidate and harass. I was wrong. Maya, what I did to you at Murphy's, there's no excuse. The rhythmic thud of a punching bag in the background punctuates his words. Someone whispers, "Isn't that the guy from the viral video?" A hashtag flashes on one phone screen. Morrison apology. I'm here to do more than apologize. Brad Morrison says, his voice steadier now. I want to volunteer help with your self-defense classes. Not as an instructor, I haven't earned that right. But maybe I can be the practice target, help others learn to stand up to people like who I used to be. The metallic clang of weights being set down echoes through the silence that follows. Maya steps forward, her military bearing, making Brad Morrison feel small despite his football player's frame. Type change if you believe in second chances. One veteran calls out, live streaming the moment. Brad Morrison stands straight, accepting whatever judgment comes. His empire of touchdowns and easy privilege has crumbled, but for the first time since that night at Murphy's, he feels like he might be becoming someone worth being. The training mats are over there, Maya finally says. We'll start with you learning how it feels to be taken down properly. Brad Morrison nods, relief flooding through him. As he follows Maya to the mats, the sounds of phones clicking and training resuming fill the air. His championship ring glints on the folded jacket, a reminder of who he was. But here, under the unforgiving gym lights, Brad Morrison begins the harder work of becoming who he should be. Brad Morrison stands before the mirror, adjusting his tie with trembling fingers. The Letterman jacket that once defined him lies crumpled in the corner of his bedroom, a relic of his former life. His championship ring catches the morning light, no longer a symbol of triumph, but a reminder of the night everything changed at Murphy's bar. My name is Brad Morrison. He rehearses, voice wavering. And I was wrong. The words still taste foreign on his tongue, but they carry a weight of truth he couldn't comprehend 3 months ago. His phone buzzes. Another notification about today's school assembly. His story, their story, has become a cautionary tale that's garnered millions of views across social platforms. The drive to Lincoln High School feels surreal. Brad Morrison, once destined for NFL glory, now parks his used Honda where team buses used to await. His championship ring sits heavy in his pocket. No longer worn, but carried as a teaching tool. The school's hallways echo with whispers as he passes. Some students recognize him from the viral video, others from the national news coverage that followed. Maya waits at the auditorium entrance, composed and professional. Their eyes meet, and Brad Morrison feels that familiar flush of shame. But it's different now. Transformative rather than destructive. Ready? She asks, extending her hand. a gesture that would have been unthinkable months ago. The assembly hall fills with students, their phones already recording. Brad Morrison steps to the podium, removes his championship ring, and places it before him. The metallic clink against the wooden surface silences the room. 3 months ago, I thought this ring made me untouchable. He begins, his voice carrying to the back row. I was Brad Morrison, star quarterback, future NFL prospect. But in one night at Murphy's bar, I learned that titles don't justify cruelty. The students lean forward as he recounts that night, his voice cracking when he describes his actions. Maya stands supportive, but uncompromising at the side of the stage. The viral video plays behind them. Brad Morrison's face contorted with entitled rage, the devastating aftermath, the online storm that followed. Morrison learns, still trends occasionally, a digital scarlet letter he's learned to accept. Today, I'm still Brad Morrison. He continues, but I'm no longer that person in the video. I lost my NFL dreams, my sponsorships, my status, but I gained something more valuable: understanding. He holds up the ring one last time before placing it in a display case, part of their traveling exhibition on respect and consequences. When Maya takes the stage, Brad Morrison stands back, watching students' faces mirror the same realizations he's lived through. Their combined presentation has already reached millions online, but these intimate school sessions hit differently. Every flinch, every nodded understanding in the audience reflects his own journey from arrogance to awareness. The session ends with questions most directed at Brad Morrison. Do you regret that night? A sophomore asks. Brad Morrison grips the podium, meeting the student's gaze. I regret my actions, but not the lessons they taught me. Sometimes you need to lose everything to become someone better. After the assembly, Brad Morrison sits in his car watching students exit with Maya's resource pamphlets in hand. His phone shows new comments flooding their latest video. This hit hard. Real change is possible. Morrison learns taught me to think twice. He touches his bare ring finger, feeling the phantom weight of his past. The championship ring now serves a greater purpose in their traveling exhibition, a tangible reminder that status doesn't equal character. Brad Morrison starts his car, heading to their next scheduled talk. The path ahead isn't glamorous like his old NFL dreams, but it's real, it's redemptive, and most importantly, it matters. Drop a 1 if this story changed your perspective on power and respect. Share to help others learn without having to lose everything first. Morrison learns. Change is possible.